Call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Accomando.
Present.
Mr. Gurick.
Present.
Mr. Magino.
Present.
Mr. Quinn. Mr. Sanchez. Mrs. Canapieco.
Present.
Mr. Singh.
Present.
Mrs. Zattarelli. Mr. Buford.
Present. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge your
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. Turn the meeting over to the superintendent for his report.
Thank you, sir. This is my 5th or 6th month, and I want to tell you this is the best month that I have spent here as superintendent of schools. There's one positive thing after another that's taken place, and I couldn't be prouder of the teachers, the kids, and the community, and just to be part of it. This is what it's all about. This is where we're trying to move towards. It is just what you want from month to month to month. Now, saying that as I start, the first thing is the Bergen County Swatting, Bomb, and Hoax Threat Symposium that I attended. There was over 200, 300, close to 300 law enforcement, educators, bomb squad present at this meeting, trying to give an overview how we're going to handle this. I can't get into the particulars because we clearly were told that good cause information they were sharing with us was so specific that it would be inappropriate in the public setting. However, I felt that it was a very positive meeting, a sound meeting. Did it get us to a point where we really understand how to deal with this threat? No. Because the problem that you're running into in this day and age with litigation just constant. Back in the 70s, again, as I was referred to in prehistoric times, when you had something like this, the principal would just get on the PA system and say, the next threat that we have, we're out 2 hours, we're going to stay 2 hours extra. Then all of a sudden there were no more threats. This is a different threat because this is not really, I think, coming in most places from students. It's robocalls. And in some cases, they've traced the robocalls back to Europe. That's taking place regarding this. Unfortunately, just last week, there were 21 schools that got these calls, and some for the 4th or 5th time. They did come up with some suggestions. We were well represented. 2 of our police officers were there, myself. So it's a step in trying to understand the frustration, but there was no solution. I do believe that when you highlight something, I've always been a believer in this, it almost guarantees the copycat type of thing where all of a sudden the call's made. And remember last week or 2 weeks ago, they did a presentation at Passaic High School trying to speak to the kids there because they've had 9 threats and trying to zero in if it was a student, know what you're causing. And then a week later, there's 21. So positive, but no solution. I attended the middle school Battle of the Books contest here. Very, very impressed with our kids, the middle school kids. And they were involved in the championship with Park Ridge. And I was very, very impressed with the answers and the seriousness with which the kids took it. They had to read a lot of books, and then questions were asked from those books in a competition. So it was really great to see. I went to the high school musical. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The work that the 2 music teachers did, the kids. What I was really impressed with was before the show started, the actors were in the auditorium actually were the people that they were acting about. This one tall kid, he was in another world. It was phenomenal. I thought the kid that Edwin Drew that did the announcing during the thing was absolutely amazing. And they were all fantastic, and I really was pleased to be there and to see that. I attended the National Honor Society induction ceremony. What a class presentation. Both advisors, Mr. Perkins and Ms. Blessing, did a fantastic job. The kids were great, their speeches. And it was so wonderful after it was over to see the beaming kids in the hallway and the parents. It was one of those positive moments. So I compliment them for that. The last professional day we had, the park, that's when we sent the math teachers for a full-day workshop in Northern Valley to get an overview of the park and begin to also be involved in subject matter that would be contingent to the math program. And we got positive reviews from that. And math teachers will be continuing this in faculty meetings and the next half-day workshop. So that was step one on the May 23rd half-day. English 7 through 12 teachers will be going for a full day on the park. And that's a positive academic step forward that will only help our teachers in their delivery and instruction, which means the assessments will be better. And I believe a year from now, next year's park scores will be much better. And so I think that's a step. I was invited over to the Long Memorial Science Egg Drop Experiment, which was, again, fantastic. 4th grade, they worked on their projects, and then they dropped them out a window to see if the egg cracked or not. Some really creative ideas, but again, to see the excitement of the kids and really into it. Did we succeed? Did it break? And the both teachers are really, again, an excellent academic activity that I attended. The Saddlebrook Music Workshop Day, where they brought all the 6th graders up here for a full day. Both music teachers and the music teachers in the K-6s put together an outstanding program. And I was able to stay in the afternoon for about an hour to see them finish up. Kudos to all of them. That was the first time that's ever been done. So that's another step in the right direction in the arts, which is good. I was fortunate and an unfortunate reason to attend a K-6 autism presentation at Long Memorial School. One of the teachers as a child who was autistic, and he had presented here to the board, I was told. And to watch almost 300 kids at that age level to sit there. And then they had a surprise, which I knew something about, Jody Pazia, who was an autistic child in Rochelle Park. But is very talented in singing and music. Well, I was at Rochelle Park, so I knew Jody and her dad. And so she came and sang, well received, and the kids were really into it, and it was wonderful. And then to listen to the teacher, in essence, in a wonderful way, bare her soul of dealing with that high functioning, low functioning, etc., was truly an educational moment for the staff, myself, and most of the kids. Today, we had a fantastic ribbon cutting ceremony at Smith School with the new booklet. To see the amount of employees that came, and the representation and the excitement in their minds is coming in with doing the reading to the kids, and to even hear the president says he can't wait for May to come in and talk to his class. It was a wonderful thing. Congratulations to the Smith PTO and also the many things that you're doing. But those, again, are the positives. Something, again, academic, books, etc., which I think is important. Then I was invited over to Long School to the Q&U wedding, which I freaking had no idea what it was about until I got there with these kindergartners. And it was really something special. To see them dressed up, the bride and the groom, and tying together Q and U. And I think it's going to Smith School. They mentioned they're going to do that next month. And so that was fantastic. I also took the time over the vacation, and today I went to watch our baseball team play. They did pretty well. They won. I think they won 4 of the last 5. I went over for the softball today, but only stayed 2 innings because there was no contest. So I told Coach White, get me back when there's 2 or 3 really competitive teams, but they look great. They got a center field. Here's Alabama. They have a center field. Shoot rock. The pitcher, fantastic catch. They're just a good softball team. And Southbrook has that reputation. And then John Lawler notified me today that we exceeded all of the percentages for participation in PART this year. We got 99% in middle school, high school was his report. 99% of the students are participating in PART. We had been challenged by the state on this subgroup thing. We were low on the special ed area. I'm not in agreement with what's taking place regarding this stuff. Percentages that you have to try to, but really the thing is, the state has to get 95% participation. From what I've been led to believe, they have to get that to guarantee they get approved by the federal government or they lose the funds. And so what they've done to the schools is says you've got to get to the 95%. And then they say you have to go on an action plan. And our answer always to the state has been, okay, so we do that, and what's the consequence if parents refuse to do it? And there is no consequence. And so they just talk to them more. But I do give credit because in the middle school and the high school, they really put together a great plan. They had nights for the special ed parents. They did assemblies with each of the grade levels. So that is an accomplishment that I told John and the rest of the staff should be proud of. And we'll see what the results are, but they got the participation, and that's another good step. Then also we had a teacher, which I bet many of you saw in the community life. Miss Amanda Klein received the 2016 Bergen County Historic Preservation Award, and she'll be honored on May 5th at the Hackensack Historic Church on the green at 7 p.m., which is another accomplishment. We also finally are nominating teacher recognition. Southbrook has not been involved in this for over 10 years. So we got it going again. Each school can select a teacher that represents excellence, represents what education is about. And those names will be given to me this week, and 5 of our teachers will be honored in May, the Thursday, Memorial Day weekend, along with about 300 other teachers to represent what's good about excellence. And each building had the staff had the ability to nominate, and if there was more than one, there was a committee made up of a board member, a principal, a parent, and a teacher to pick the candidates. Some of you board members I've asked to participate, and I think the principals have reached out to you. But that's the thing you want to do because, again, 5 people from the district. Washington School can't participate because of the low number. You got to have so many teachers. So Washington School can't participate, but we'll have 5 that will be honored. And that's what it's all about. So a great month. I couldn't be happier. Promise at the Smith cutting ceremony today, which I appreciate. But an excellent month for Southbrook School District, and that's what we want to continue. So we're going to go over the agenda items. What we'll be voting on, if you look at agenda items A, student services, A1 through A9 are all special ed. Costs, placements, etc. B for administration is the fire and security drills for March of 2016. B2 is 7 secondary students were suspended for the month of March. What you have down here, business and board on page 3, are the most of this is with part. This is the second part of that workshop on May 23rd that they'll all be going to for the English department. On Wednesday, John Lawler and I will be attending the SNAP conference. That's an excellent conference. I've gone every year to the good administration, because each year the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office gives a update for educators and law enforcement. What are the challenges for that year in substance abuse? And so you get a feel of the challenges that are going on. So we'll be going to that on Wednesday. Following field trips on page 4, a bunch of them down there. I want to give a special, I guess you call it a shout out to Frank Ortega. He takes the band on more parades than I've ever seen to raise money for their program, etc. So he puts the time in, and I just think that's fantastic. On page 5, we're awarding the bid for the auditorium renovations that are going to take place up here over the summer. Again, another major step out of the referendum that's going to be really a big plus. 4 on page 5 is the district fields from the rec department. 5 is trying to rectify some of the food service student account balances, to cancel some of them. The bus emergency evacuation drills, they have to be done twice a year. What we did on number 7, I had given a security presentation to the whole staff about concerns, and the staff from Washington School, which meant it was somewhat well received, immediately sent us a note saying that the Washington School gym doors could not be locked if we had an emergency. That's a real issue. So we immediately moved, and those doors have been ordered, and that issue will be corrected. The comprehensive equity plan, is all schools have to do it, has been completed, and we've submitted it to the county. All we need now is to pass this resolution and make that as the last part of that which the county needs. Number 9 is sort of interesting, a 3rd blood drive. We do 1 a year, so blood must be good here. So the National Honor Society is doing that again. Number 10 is the revised calendar for this year. We have to do that, notify the county office. We'll be off Friday the 27th. We'll be off Tuesday the 31st, and then we'll be off Tuesday, June 7th. Make up those 3 snow days. Number 11 is going to be getting rid of the trailer. It's too costly to repair. And number 12 is just the students from Saddlebrook going to the VFW for their lead graduation. Same thing for 13, and then the facility request for 2016. On policy committee had a real good meeting. These are all policies for the first reading. Kim, I would ask you if you could maybe just quickly do a summary of them on Wednesday before we go into them, to deal with that, which we've got a lot of stuff there really taken care of, which again is a big plus. And that's what I have.
Do you have any committee reports?
Question. Going way back to page 2, item 3A, number 6. Just a question out of curiosity. The speech language evaluation for a student at 1,800.
Yep.
Is that really a typical average cost?
No. No.
Okay.
It's usually around 500. Now we're into special ed, but I think I got it right. There was a law passed a couple of years ago that parents can get a private evaluation done. And if so, that's where they felt more comfortable, and those costs were borne by the school district. So my guess is in that particular case, they went to a private speech language evaluation for their overall life.
Sounds like insurance, no insurance.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I just thought that was high.
But it's not normal. It's usually 500 to 600.
I thought that was high. Thank you.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Do you, going back to the park participation, Do you happen to have, or is it possible to get the percentage last year versus this year? Like, I know that you said 99%.
I got right here, it's here, excuse me. There are two things, I don't have the other one, but 2015, it was 92% participation at the high school. This year it's 99. The middle school stayed the same, 99 and 99. I got copies for you. I'll give it to you. And but the issue in the high school is this special ed subgroup,
Right.
down like at 57%. Out of the amount of students that didn't participate last year, I'm going to say it was 25, 26, 22 was special education. But through the evening meetings and talking to parents, obviously there was a better understanding. What the law said, what I was told today, again, this is an area I'm uncomfortable with, but there's no, you used to have under New Jersey ASK the ability for the child study team to waive the test. That doesn't exist. You must participate.
Really?
It can be dealt with after the fact, but the state will not accept a waiver from the child study team on that. So that's a big change. But the whole thing is at least they have to participate. Now, the problem you run into when they participate and then the scores are low, then they come back and say, what's your corrective action plan to improve those scores?
Right.
But that's part and parcel of what they spoke to. And John said that it was well received by the parents. And I got some here tonight for you in the executive session.
Thank you. And then I just wanted to also make a note. I don't know if you attended the Synergistics.
I did not.
You did
I've
not.
heard people rave about it.
It was.
Did you go?
I did get the chance to go. Basically, the Synergistics class worked on a project. They had to create a company which produced a product, an edible product, and from start to finish, from the blueprint to an actual 3D architecturally correct building and company, to little conveyor belts and product line and all of the budget and financing and profit margins. And I mean, a lot of work went into it, and the food was fabulous. So I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to them because it was fabulous, and I was very happy that I got the chance to attend.
I heard great things.
Yes.
Any correspondence? Old business?
Just like to mention the 5K that's going to be on Saturday, the 23rd. We've had a great response so far. We've increased sponsorships and been working really hard on the foundation. We have over $1,000 for in sponsorship money. We've almost got 10,000. We have about 70 some odd runners signed up already. So we're looking to see what we did last year, and with everyone's help, we can do that. So come out on Saturday. The race starts at 9 o'clock at your early gate T-shirt, and come out and support the Southwood Educational Foundation and our students here at Southwood. So,
Dave, just a side note, you don't have to run.
it's a run walk. So,
It's a run walk.
It's great. Go on the website. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
New business?
On the new business, I have two items. One is listed there. It's a memo I gave to the board regarding approvals for next month's meeting. We usually do our annual approvals. I listed all the routine ones we normally do. If you could review that and let me know if there's any issues. I will bring forward any proposals for professionals, etc., and so we can get moving on those. Number two, everybody's heard about I updated the board about all the lead in drinking water around the country and the news. So we were, proactively wanted to go out and test. So we had our environmental company come in and do testing at the end of the week before spring break on April 7th and 8th, and it finished up on the 12th. It'll take a few weeks to get the results, and hopefully there are no issues, but if there are, we will address them immediately, and we'll put all the information on our website for the public. Okay, that's fine.
This time I'll open the meeting to the public. Any motion?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Residents are requested to state their name, address, and subject matter. In the event it appears in the public comment portion of this meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by the participant to 5-minute duration. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered, and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that the members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of the individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded to by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will be liable for any comments made by the members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. We'll be giving more on Wednesday. We're going to talk about the policy meeting, if I'm correct. We're going to push forward that till Wednesday.
I think, I guess what we can do once we, you might have missed, did you ask for it?
Yeah, I asked for
Oh, did you?
committee reports.
Oh, they went through it, they asked if there was any reports from any of the committees. Jen, can I ask you, I would not know what it's all about, because David talked about the run, the color. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
There's about 250 kids, I believe, participating from kindergarten, from Washington all the way up to the high school. It's April 30th, registration starts at 8:45. The color run itself starts at 10. Volunteers come to other kids, so everybody that has come up travelers about to come building. The kids have an opportunity to
And at the high school.
It's going to be at the high school track. It's anybody that wants to participate, they still can. It's just after tonight, it's really private. $30 minimum entry.
Thank you. When you do a drill, when you do a fire drill in particular, you always notify the police and the fire department beforehand so they do not respond. So they'll know when that drill is taking place. So if there's a false alarm or a kid who's in high school hits something, they must respond. And so what will happen there is the fire department will come, the police will come, and then you can't go back into the building until they either find where the false alarm was, the smoke detector took place, or they just found that a lever was pulled, and then you go back in. But on the drills, they will not respond because they know ahead of time.
And then we can start with this already. We also try to make sure that we're on par with everyone.
don't know what to do. Yes, well, they have to be inspected. The fire alarm system, the handles and all that stuff, that gets approved each year. There must be an inspection on that takes place. And then what they usually do when they do the fire alarms drills, they usually do a pull from a different one each time. So over time, they would all be tested. Okay.
Anybody else wish to be heard? Spoke? This time I'm going to close the meeting. The public. I ask for a motion.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? To recess to go into close and executive session to discuss personnel, contract negotiation, and matters covered by the attorney-client privilege per the NJSA Open Public Meetings Act. The subject matter discussed may be disclosed to the public if and when appropriate. The need for confidentiality no longer exists. The action may be taken by the board when the board reconvenes in open session.
Thank you.